by asking how many Ohioans do I have in the audience today? A couple, well, not as many as I thought, but still. I'm sure many of you know, a couple summers ago, LeBron James, your guys' hometown hero, your guy, famously made his decision to take his talents to South Beach and join the now star-studded powerhouse Miami Heat. So you don't have to know much about sports to know that overloading teams and making an unfair advantage for all the others is just not right and has no place in sports. So being a fan, I witnessed this decision and soaked it all up. It's the type of controversy that I love. So when I found this article in the New York Times about a most recent trade that was vetoed, including many big names that I'll get into later, when I found out that trade was vetoed, I knew I had to research more. I had to figure out why. So now I'll take you inside the trade that never was. So the three teams that were involved in this trade were the New Orleans Hornets, Houston Rockets, and Los Angeles Lakers. Some of the players involved in this were all-star point guard Chris Paul, who was the big name in this deal, as well as all-star power forward Pau Gasol, as well as another name, Lamar Odom, was also involved in this. So Chris Paul is the main headliner in this, and by many, according to many, was the main hiccup in this trade. So this same article from the December 8th New York Times edition of the Sports answered how David Stern, the NBA commissioner, actually vetoed this trade. So a brief background on that. The three teams came to an agreement and proposed this trade to the commissioner, who then has the power to either let it go through and agree upon it, or to veto it. He chose to veto it. Now, as to why he did it, according to Howard Beck's article from December 8th, shortly after the trade was vetoed, the NBA spokesperson Tim Frank was quoted as saying that the NBA claimed basketball reasons for the trade not going through. And this was very, very vague. Many NBA beat writers such as Howard Beck, Michael Wilbon, and Ken Belson were very unclear as to what these basketball reasons actually were. But the NBA weren't quoted as saying anything else. But for the most part, I found that Chris Paul was the main hiccup in this trade, and Dan Gilbert, the owner of the Cavs, who's definitely not a man of few words, was notably completely outraged by LeBron's decision a few summers ago, was quoted on this issue. He said, "I don't see how we can allow this trade to happen." So he was speaking on behalf of many of the owners who were supposedly very, very upset with this trade even being proposed due to the fact that it was going to possibly add another powerhouse team in the NBA, which is in the wrong direction. But not only because it possibly could have overloaded another team in the NBA, but there were money issues going along with this as well. Gilbert, who was also quoted as saying that the Lakers team in this trade would have made off with over $40 million in addition to receiving one of the best players in the league. $20 million in luxury taxes, which are taxes that will go to some of the smaller market teams, and then $20 million in salaries due to the shifting around of contracts that they would make off with as well. So Chris Paul, the main hiccup in this trade, didn't end up going to the Lakers, but he ended up going to the other team in Los Angeles, the Clippers. And Lamar Odom actually ended up going to the Dallas Mavericks. So this blockbuster trade did not go through and was vetoed, which is very, very rare in the NBA. The NBA, however, would claim that it's not because of LeBron, it's not because of the powerhouse Miami Heat, but they would claim probably money reasons instead. So now I hope you guys know some of the ins and outs of this trade that never was, and I hope I've given you guys some insight on some of the business side of a major sports league like the NBA.